Tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, folks, Donovan Mitchell, we're now using his name in the Jazz, take on the Celtics in Utah. Make sure you check it out. And now it's time for your need to know. In case you didn't know, Kevin Durant told reporters he will rejoin Warriors on Thursday for their home game against the Bucks. Durant sat out his 6th straight game Tuesday because of a right rib soreness. Good to see him back. Meanwhile, LaMarcus Aldridge left the Spurs game last night with a knee injury. He's scheduled to have an MRI today, according to Coach Pop. The injury comes at a really tough time for the playoff hopeful Spurs. They host the Thunder on Thursday and the Rockets on Sunday. And last but not least, the Lakers have announced that Isaiah Thomas will undergo a surgical procedure on his right hip. I feel sorry for him. Adrian Wojnarowski says the Lakers, though, are still interested in free agency discussions with the PG. Welcome back to Sports Nation. We are now joined by Jags defensive end Calais Campbell. How are you, sir? Welcome to the show.
Life is good.
Life is good. Well, look, the last time that I saw you, it was during the AFC Championship game, and I got to ask you this right off the top. Do you think your Jags got robbed?
Ooh, we'll hop right in, huh?
Yeah,
I'm still a little hurt about the game. You know, I won't say we got robbed because that's just, I feel like, you know, I got to let it go, you know. So I'm just moving on. This all year just come out.
Well, we're not moving on just yet. Look, you guys walked into the halftime up, and if you would have kept the same game plan, same aggressive mindset, looked like it was your game to have. What did you guys feel as players?
Yeah, I feel like it got away. You know, I would love to have it. I feel like we were a better team that day. Just didn't get it done. You know, it hurts. See, I feel like I'm making excuses. You know, I don't want to do that.
Oh, I hear you.
Well, Blake Bortles had been the punching bag basically for the entire franchise since he's been drafted. You were new to the team. What did you learn about Blake becoming his teammate versus his opponent?
Man, Blake's the truth, man. You know, so I know he makes little mistakes at times. You know, he's thrown a lot of interceptions, but he's thrown for over 4,000 yards twice. You know, he's thrown for 35 touchdowns. You know what I mean? He just
say the stats. Give them to him.
You better say them stats.
I decided to go there. I had to look all this up.
Yeah.
To make sure. I mean, he's young. You know, he's going to mature and get better each year. So I'm excited about Blake.
All right.
Are we going to see a tear and that's my quarterback? That's my quarterback? We getting that too?
Thank you so much for being here. So since you're here, you're going to hang out with us for topics. Is that cool?
Sounds
all right.
good.
So I don't know if you saw this the other day. John Gruden basically said that he would like to eliminate instant replay, saying if you threw out slow-mo, you would get back to the common sense. Basically, he believes the refs should just call the game. So no slow-mo, Calais. Your thoughts on that? Would you agree?
I mean, I think that probably helps the defense more than it helps the offense. So, I mean, I wouldn't be too opposed to it. As long as it's all equal, we good.
Your thoughts, Marcellus?
Well, look, to me, it's the end justifies the means. So as long as you get it right, I don't care how you do it. If you use technology, you use common sense, you use the eyeball test, I don't care. And I like to evolve as a game. So the technology is there for us to utilize. Why not utilize it?
I think it's just a stupid statement to make. I mean, you wouldn't go to a doctor who said to you, oh, I'm not going to use all this science and technology to figure out a diagnosis. I'm just going to use common sense and tell you what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
You wouldn't take your car to a mechanic and run things properly with technology and just say, well, my gut tells me this is what's wrong, so this is what we're going to fix. You wouldn't do that in any other facet of your life. Why would you want that to happen to your game?
But LZ, isn't that John Gruden's approach? Don't you think real old school, simple-minded?
Oh, yeah,
I can see
time.
that coming.
Big time. Meat and potatoes. Oh, we're going to work them 25 hours a day. That's the John Gruden way.
Work them 25 hours a day. So the NFL, folks, moving on, has agreed on a broadened helmet hit rule. Now, this is hard, Marcellus. Well, help me with this. Now they penalize players who lead with the crown of their helmets to initiate contact against any opponent on any play. Josh Norman and, I don't know if you saw this, Richard Sherman, they weighed in on it. They basically criticized it. But our Adam Schefter is trying to explain what it all means. Let's take a listen.
It's one of the most significant rule changes that we've had in NFL history, I would argue. And you said it happened in the 11th hour, when the fact of the matter is, though, Sal, they've been working on this since the Combine and well before that, trying to come up with an idea that they managed to sneak past everybody. It was done in quiet, basically, for whatever reason, and they managed to get a rule that is trying to change the way the game of football is played.
So he says it's a rule that may change the way the game of football is played. Do you agree that it's the most significant change?
Oh, absolutely. At the core, the essence of what football is, that has now been disrupted by this rule change. And I applaud it if you want to make the game safer. But I then look at this same rule and say, it's not the same game. This is no longer football. The button bench is something I was taught as a youngster in Pop Warner. Button bench means basically lining up as a defender. I see you, I headbutt you, and then I bench press you to know where the play is and diagnose it. You take the butt part away from it, that initial shock, which allows me to read and diagnose plays. I'm not playing football the same way. So applaud them if they want to make a safer game, but then this is not the same
Calais,
game.
is that true? Is that old school true?
I mean, yeah, that was the way I was taught too, but bitch, I stopped doing that though a long time ago.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah, all the CTE talk, I started using my hands a lot more quicker, so the game has changed already. But it's tough to police that, I mean, I feel like it's in our DNA to play the game the way we were raised, so that's going to be a tough adjustment for all of us.
What about incidental contact? What about accidents, like when you just go into the line of scrimmage and hit someone?
That, to me, is the reason why I find it hard to believe that they're going to be able to police this properly without upsetting people even more. I would also argue that I don't think that's the most significant rule change. I still think the Rooney Rule is the most significant rule change in NFL history. I get where Adam's coming from in terms of on-field play, but in terms of overall effect of the league, the Rooney Rule way more important than this headbutt change.
Okay, but on the field, though, let's take it back on the field. How difficult will it be? That's a natural instinct that you just talked about. So this rule change is in effect right now. How difficult will that be for you to adjust your game?
Yeah, it's going to be tough, especially, I mean, so certain plays where, you have an angle where you have to lead with your helmet, in a sense, but, I mean, we're trying to get our shoulders in as much as possible, but it's going to be tough. I mean, I don't know how to, I guess obviously fines and stuff, they're going to take a lot of money from our pockets till we get it right, but man, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, so you signed a big contract. He's not a big deal, so you should be all
Well,
right.
yeah, I mean, look, Calais,
I'm going to be fine. Some of these guys
you got great leverage. You got great leverage. I mean, respect to him. Look at the size difference.
Yeah.
You're not in the NFL ever. But, I mean, just look at this real talk. So he can use his arms for that extension. As he said, that's the advantage him. A lot of guys don't have that same advantage. They use their heads. They're going to have to learn a new way.
You are big, though.
I mean, huge.
Right.
That's
You
next
sound
level.
like Shaq, too.
We play the same position.
I'm scared.
You guys play the what?
Same position.
Oh, did you guys?
You can tell somebody played it better. Look at this. What the hell?
That's interesting. Now that you brought that up, he was once also, I don't know if you knew this, he was a Jag. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Yeah, Wall of Fame. You see me up there.
Okay, so... Okay.
Oh, damn!
So starts...
Hold on. Y'all got to add a digit at the bottom.
Tackles 19.
I was on my way out.
So,
That's stealing. That's what we call stealing.
Yeah! Ain't nothing better
In
than
a career, you just steal a couple paychecks, on the way out, He had a great career, He's a great player,
No, keep
You were
talking.
double team. You were double team.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
They
It
were
was
trying to help you out.
Dude, they were paying me for vacation. I was an elder statesman in that locker room.
what would you do? What
Oh,
was your
man.
real job?
I would
It
rally the
wasn't
troops.
On the field. Off the field. You
On
were
the-
off the field.
Man, the game had passed me by. Let's just say that before the rule changes. No, in all seriousness, man, he's right. I had lost it. A lot of injuries, just older part and elder in the game.
Yeah.
And it was just like, all right, I'm on the field, I'm trying.
Yeah.
But these young boys is killing me,
So
baby.
you were still in the checks.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, they gave them to me. I just paid them. They gave me for past services. Yeah, right.
Calais, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. You can come back anytime if you'd like.
Sounds good.
All right.
dog.
Coming up next, folks, Milos Teodosic.
Milo!
Again, dropped an amazing dive to DeAndre Jordan.
That's why they got
Was
him.
it the assist of the year?
All right, calm down now.
On the
Up
team
next.
of the year, Clip City, Chip City, Sports Nation.